money to buy the first bag of coffee beans. On the 1st of December, 2014, I rang him to thank him for the coffee and to wish him a happy birthday. He told me he was happy about having a Camerino in Dublin, which was actually the kindest thing he'd ever said to me. I had never heard him use the word happy before. The next day, he would be 86 years old. On the morning of December 2nd, 2014, on his 86th birthday, Enzo died. I think his last few years were his best years. He became very passionate about Holocaust education, visiting schools, and making sure that what happened in the Holocaust is not forgotten. And so now, despite my terrible fear of public speaking, I am responsible for keeping my family's history alive, for teaching what happened, for never forgetting that people can do bad and people can do good. When I was growing up, I always knew my grandfather was a survivor of the Holocaust. He had his tattoo. I grew up in Montreal, in a neighborhood where a lot of other Jewish people lived. There were a lot of elderly people who had survived the Holocaust in my community, not like here in Ireland. Where I come from, a very peaceful place, the effects of the Holocaust were all around me. There were people with tattoos who had survived, people who were hidden for years and never captured, so didn't have tattoos, or people who were put in work camps instead of death camps. But you've made an effort to learn about the Holocaust and to honor its victims here tonight. There are very few survivors left in the world. There are now 2 in Ireland. There are bronze plaques laid outside the school, attended by Eddie Steinberg in Dublin, to remember the story of her family who perished in the Holocaust. I'm thankful to you for inviting me to share Enzo's story, for the openness to learn about a very ugly time in history when people said and did the worst things to fellow people. It's important to learn about the dangers of standing by while anti-Semitism, homophobia, racism, and all kinds of intolerance grows. The danger of people harming other people hasn't gone away, and this history is not that long ago. In the work that I do for Holocaust Education Ireland, I try to teach that every time someone stands up against intolerance, it makes the world a less comfortable place for people to express intolerance. And every time a group stands up against intolerance, it makes it more difficult for other groups to impose intolerant rules or pass intolerant laws. So what you do matters, and creating art like this documentary matters. Learning about the Holocaust matters, and I thank you for this act, which means that tonight, this group here heard the names Enzo, Luciano, Wanda, Renato, Giulia, and Italo Camerino, who the Nazis set to exterminate. As told by me, Karina Camerino, who exists because my grandparents survived. I have some media to share with you. First, the famous Facebook photo. You can all be as shocked as me. Imagine this just showing up in your Facebook feed. He was very proud of this picture. He blew this up as big as my New Kids on the Block posters like this. He had it in his bedroom. And I would learn Enzo's story from him directly, and I was very interested as I grew older, and he was the subject of class projects of mine, and still learning about him after he's passed. And I found this video on YouTube which teaches me a bit more, which I'd like to share with you. You could hear a bit of his experience in his own words.
I campi di concentramento noi credevamo che erano quelli che mi pare che c'erano a Fossoli, che erano tutte le famiglie insieme,